things are playing out exactly like you would expect with the Marvels this weekend. It is going to underperform at the box office. It potentially could be one of the biggest flops ever for the MCU. Reviews are not good. Word of mouth is not good. And of course, there are Marvel Cinematic Universe shills out there that are losing their minds. And of course, who are they blaming this failure on? The very people that they claim that they never needed in the first place. That's right. It's men's fault. It's all of your fault. Hey, men that this movie wasn't made for. You're the reason it's failing, even though these same weirdos said they don't need you. All of you toxic men, they don't need you. They don't want you. And of course, when something fails, who is the first person that they blame? The first group of people they blame, of course. But let's go over this a little bit first. So right here on CNBC, The Marvels is probably headed for one of the worst MCU box office openings ever. Oof, well, that might hurt just a little bit. That might hurt, but it gets even worse. In Korea, box office, negative word of mouth affects even more. The Marvels grossing 373,000 on Thursday, the worst in MCU history, dropping 46.3 from Wednesday's opening day versus Captain Marvel's 2.1, 31.6 back in 2019. The new Marvel film hits 1.1 million two-day cum. So it ain't looking good. And you can see these numbers right here. MCU post-COVID first Thursday in Korea's box office. The Marvels struggling, to say the least. Struggling. Now, we started to get reports that The Marvels wasn't doing very good on Rotten Tomatoes, and it actually started out at around a 54%, which is rotten. And then suddenly, magically, the 3 a.m. vote dump happens, and look at there. Magically, it's back into the positive area. The Marvels flips from rotten to fresh with dozens of new reviews. Wow, that's amazing how that worked out. That's just amazing. Although it really don't matter, because at the end of the day, people are not excited for this movie. They are not going to see this movie. And the few people that are checking it out aren't liking it because, as I just showed you, negative word of mouth is having a pretty big impact on this movie. But that doesn't stop the shills from blaming all you toxic men. Here is Tessa Smith says, it's really interesting to me that it's all men who are very actively hating on the Marvels. That's right. The movie isn't perfect. Read my review for my thoughts, but it doesn't deserve the hate that many men are giving it. That's right. All of you toxic men, stop hating it, because you're not going to acknowledge any females. No. Why would you acknowledge any women hating on it? That goes against your nonsensical narrative. We have Adam here who says, gentle reminder as we head into a toxic weekend. If you don't love the Marvels, or it just isn't for you, that's okay. If you're rooting for the movie to fail, making fun of people for liking it, generally being sexist or misogynistic, that's not okay. That's not okay, everyone. Adam wants you to know that's not okay. It's not okay. We also have this wonderful, wonderful rant right here. Let's listen into this one.
A Letterboxd comment just made me so mad, and instead of replying to this really dumb person, I'm just gonna make a video about it and rant for a second.
Please,
I am
let's go.
so upset about all this bullshit surrounding the Marvels, where so many men just want this movie to fail. It's ridiculous. I wrote a very positive review about the movie on Letterboxd because I liked it, and somebody commented, sounds biased in my opinion. Liking something is biased? Do you go on every single movie in Letterboxd and see a positive review and call it biased?
Yes, that's kind of how the internet works. I don't know if you're new to the internet, but people talking shit on the internet is part of it. That is how it works. And for you to sit there and paint a sexist narrative around this just shows how out of touch with reality you are. But continue on blaming all the men.
No. You know what would be biased? If I worked for Marvel or worked on this movie, or if I said before I saw the movie, I don't care how bad it is, Captain Marvel's in it, so I'm gonna love it. That's being biased. You know what's ironic? You're being biased because you haven't seen the film and you already hate it. That's lunatic behavior. I hated Quantumania. Do you think that brought me joy? Do you think I like hating that? No, it's a bummer hating things. I do not understand how you can go into something with such hate in this way. It is just sexism. You sexist. It's okay to dislike something. If you genuinely don't like the Marvels, I get it. There are things in that movie that are not for everyone. But if you really seriously want to hate it and are rooting for it to fail, you need to really ask yourself why, and ask yourself why you have such a problem with women and powerful women and women leading films and women directing films. I think when the Marvels officially comes out, I'm taking a social media break. I just can't take it. I can't take it.
I'm going to take a social media break, everyone. It's going to be too difficult. It's going to be too difficult. Right now, the Marvels is sitting at a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes as we speak. Again, when you got the 3 a.m. vote dump, of course, got us out of that negative rotten score. So everything is going to be perfectly fine now. But again, I am finding so much joy in this right now. After all the bullshit that we watched with Captain Marvel and the most protected movie we have ever seen, whether it was the release date, which again, in isolation, there's nothing wrong with that. You want to protect the movies. You want to maximize every movie you release. I get that. But it was this film specifically that the narratives were built around it. Then they changed all of the rules on Rotten Tomatoes in order to protect Captain Marvel again. And watching that film go on to make whatever it was, $1 billion, knowing that it really wasn't about that film as much as it was about how protected it was, but the celebration of Queen Brie Larson and all of that. And now seeing where we are with how far this box office is going to fall from Captain Marvel, where are all the Brie fans right now? Where are all those Queen Brie Larson fans? Where are you? Why are you abandoning ship? Why are you not there to support your queen? Where are all the Brie bots at? I'm very disappointed that you're no longer supporting your queen. Did you get an NPC update? Is that what's going on? We need to know. You need to tell us. But at the end of the day, it's glorious to watch. I can't wait to see what the actual box office numbers are. Watching the meltdown, it's like we're right back where we started just a few years ago. It's men's fault, everybody. It's all those angry men and their fault. Yes, that's a perfect way to explain what's going on, considering we just had Barbie become the biggest hit of the year. But hey, it's just men that won't go see these movies. There's not a single woman out there that has a problem with these movies. There's not a single woman that has criticized it. It's only men. Continue this nonsense because nobody with a working brain and the slightest bit of common sense is paying attention to your garbage anymore. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.